introduce Wharn Bird. So please allow him.
Alan Douglas. The speaker today is going to be Wharn Bird. He's got he does excellent job in the field he's in. Now, when I was younger, I used to be able to do all kinds of things. Talk about elevators. Well, my elevator was a pit special, which is a aerobatic biplane, and I'd do aerobatics probably once or twice a year, maybe a week, and had a lot of fun. But now, as I'm getting older, I notice I'm slowing down a lot. I walk straight through, and now I kind of shuffle. Things happen. So anyway, without any questions, Wharn.
As we introduce Wharn, questions during your presentation. I know Wharn is going to be available at the bar table after the speeches for additional personal type information, but he is accepting questions, and we have a microphone here for those that want to ask. Wharn?
Thank you. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Alan.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like this is point counterpoint to those that want to exercise. I'm the guy you see when you don't exercise, because we're going to talk about stair lifts. Fun topic. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, so again, my name is Wharn Bird. I just turned 60 last Friday, so thank you for including me in your birthday. A little bit about my history. So I live in San Francisco with my wife, and I have 3 children. I just went to my daughter's graduation 2 Saturdays ago from Villanova. So my wife and I made the last tuition payment of our lives to get our 3 kids through school. So my oldest went to Santa Barbara. My little guy is a duck. He went to Oregon, and then my daughter went to Villanova. My wife is one of 12 kids. Wow. She is number 11. Her father was the doctor at Villanova University. He put 10 children through Villanova University for nothing. That's the way you do it. If you're going to be a doctor and you're going to have that many kids, get hooked up with the university and you can send them all through.
Smart man.
Yeah, very smart. My wife is an ER doctor. She has the tough job. What I do for a living, I can't come home and complain. I can't say that I had a bad day. It just doesn't apply. When your wife is an ER doctor, she obviously sees it all. I came to San Francisco in 1987. I'm from Pennsylvania. I went to Penn State University. I was a Joe Paterno believer, and I didn't become a believer anymore after what happened. One of my first jobs that I had when I came here to California, I was a banker. And so a woman came up to me and said, I'd like to check my balance. So I pushed her, but I didn't last there too long. So one of my other jobs that I had, I don't know if you remember the Spiders. They were a hockey organization that played in the Cow Palace. The Spiders disbanded, and then the Sharks came. I used to be an off-ice official for them, meaning I did the scoreboard, I did the penalty box, I did, when they scored a goal, I was the guy that flicked the light on that would rotate and tell everybody there was a goal. I did a little bit of announcing, but I was an off-ice official until I had my first son. Living in San Francisco, the Sharks were here in San Jose. I couldn't do it with a little one. So I did a season for them back in 94 is when I was with the Sharks. But I did the Spiders for 3 years because the industry that I was in was high-density storage. I have been using a tape measure since the day I graduated from college. This is what I've always done. And when I say high-density storage systems, I did all of Stanford's libraries. I did a lot of Google warehouse shelving. I did projects for Apple. I did projects for NASA. So anything that anyone had to store on shelving, I was their guy. I represent a lot of different manufacturers at the time, and it was very interesting. I owned my own business for 12 years. I've been doing it. I was doing it for 33, and just got a little tired of it, a little repetitive as well. So I told my wife, I can do something else. I want to do something different. Doing something for 30 years, it got a little old. And I said to my wife, you remember what we did for Mom back in 2006? We did a stair lift. And I said to my wife, I bet you I'd be pretty good at that because I lived it. My mother's house, I was back in Philadelphia, like a lot of homes back there, the bedroom and the bathroom are upstairs. There is nothing at the main level. And my mother was getting of age and she was starting new medication. And my father had passed away. So my mother was trying to live at home alone. And my sisters and I said, well, Mom, that's fine, but we have to make some changes. We're worried about you. Everybody, all the kids lived, an hour away. Nobody was right in the neighborhood for Mom. And my mother's a little, stubborn. You're not going to put me anywhere. And I said, we don't want to put you anywhere, Mom, but we have to make some changes. So we put a stair lift in for her, and she had it almost 8 years, but she got her wish. She passed away at home. That's all she wanted to do was stay in her house. So my sisters and I were high-fiving each other because we got her what she wanted. Not everybody needs it, but those that do, it's nice that you can stay in your own home. That's how I look at stair lifts. What is the whole industry about? It's people that just want to stay in their home. The Bay Area, everything is stairs. Even if I do a mobile home, which is one level, there's 4 steps that get you up to the mobile home. The Bay Area is stairs. I am the busiest guy for my company in the entire nation. There are 97 of us, 97 Wharns out there in every state doing what I do. I'm the top guy because I'm the busiest. I work Saturdays. I see 3 people a day because they call in when they see our advertisement. We advertise, and my company is Wharn. There are others out there, but I can only speak for my own company. Wharn has been around for 32 years. We only do 2 things. We only do a stair lift that goes up a straight staircase or a lift that does a curve, like Alan has. Alan has a curved staircase and put one in his own. And by the way, Alan said, if you ever want to see one in action, he's going to open up his home to let you give it a test drive. Now, it's not Disney World, but you can get a ride. He'll take the tickets at the bottom of the stairs. It only takes about 4.5 hours to ride to get to plan your time accordingly before you go.
Free meal, right, Alan?
So for Acorn, it's 2 chairs in one color for 32 years. It's a boring industry for what I talk about every single day. Needless to say, I am meeting families that want to help mom or dad get up in the stairs. So I'm not quite used to this crowd. I mean, this is quite a family. You know, trying to get grandma off the stairs. So, thank you for all coming. But I do meet with families to say, what are we going to do? I meet all types of people. I walk in front doors and there's the bed. They've given up on the stairs. They can't get up. They are waiting for their son to come home twice a week to carry them upstairs to use the shower because they cannot get up the stairs. Now, fortunately, they have a powder room downstairs, but they are waiting for the son to be able to drive over, carry them up the stairs. I see a lot of young people, people that are going to have surgery, and it's the same thing. That's my bathroom. I don't have anything down here, and I need to get upstairs because my doctor is telling me I got a 7, 8, 9 month recovery ahead of me. And what am I going to do? I got to use my bathroom. So I see it all. I see children. Little guy had cerebral palsy. It's getting too heavy for his parents to carry him up to his bedroom. So they need a lift from this little guy. He's 9 years old now. It's too much of a challenge for the parents to get him upstairs. So the whole goal, I feel, is to how to get you to keep your house, use your house. The big question always that's out there is, what do these things cost? If you had a straight staircase, it's $4,000. If you had a curve, you'd be $11,000 or $12,000 profit. 2 chairs in one color. I always say I got a 3 Series BMW and I have a 7 Series BMW. I cannot make this guy do what this one can do. It's a different track, it's a different chair, it just does a different thing. That's why it's the cost. And the cost of these things is not the track for us. I say it's like an 80-20 split. The cost of these things is the chair. It's not the track. Track to us is nothing. Whether I go up 3 risers like a mobile home, or I go up 33 risers, it's the same price. It's not the track, it's the chair. That's the cost of this. Where did stair lifts come from? Well, I did a little history back because I thought, I forget what they told me in training 5 years ago, so I thought, I'll do a little search. The first stair lift was King Henry VIII. King Henry was a thin guy, very muscular, athletic. When he was 44 years old, he was in a jousting accident. And he really messed up his leg. And of course, medicine back then, 500 years ago, wasn't tops. So at 44, he had sustained this horrible injury. So he was kind of confined to a chair. And by the age of 52, by the age of 50, he had a 52 waist. And they know that from the historians that measured his armor. So he had 52 waist, 44 years of age. So because he could not get around, he could not move. And the royals said, his royals described his chair as the thing that goeth up and down. Because they had a block and tackle system to get this guy up with a 52-inch waist. That's a big waist. That's Humpty Dumpty mode. To get him up wherever he was going. You jump ahead 400 to 1923, back to Pennsylvania, my own state. There was a car salesman, guy that owned a car dealership, and he had a neighbor. And he noticed that his neighbor was stuck upstairs. He could not get downstairs. So this guy had that entrepreneurial spirit kind of rolling in his brain, which anything he's ever invented comes from somebody that says, there's a need, I gotta fill it. Hey, they're all the same way. In 1923, he saw his friend, so he took parts from the conveyor system that he knew that Ford had made. Ford was doing the conveyors that would come down, and he put parts on the car, and the car kept going. So it was that concept of just put parts on, let the car go, next part on, keep it going. He designed something with a conveyor system to help his neighbor get up and down the stairs. He started his own company. It was called Incubator. I don't think it went very far, but it got the ball rolling where people were thinking, this guy's not alone. There are other people that are stuck. And just as a side note, I don't know if you have ever heard or know that the modern hospital bed, you know who came up with that?
Howard Hughes.
Howard Hughes. Had the plane accident. Was so uncomfortable with the burns on his body and the things that he had to go through. And he was just on a flat bed. So Howard said, there's got to be a better way. Hired engineers, said, make this thing articulate. They cut it up into 6 sections. They put 30 motors on it so that the bed could do what it needed to do, and he would get bed sores and that type of thing. So it was Howard Hughes' accident that is the reason we have the modern hospital bed. Lift, turn, put airflow through it, all that, those types of things. To tell you a little bit about, again, Acorn, there are other companies out there. The thing that I always say about Acorn, the company that I represent, we are the only ones that are correct. I work for Acorn. My installer is an employee of Acorn, and the factory is Acorn. I do 2 chairs in one company. That's it. It's Coke or Diet Coke. That's all I serve at my restaurant. That's it. Anybody else, and I don't begrudge them what they do, anyone else is a dealer. Meaning, they also sell hospital beds, oxygen tanks, wheelchairs, ramps, and walkers, and all the other things that fall under the medical supply umbrella. Acorn only does stair lifts because what those other guys do is they get this out of a catalog, they hire a subcontractor to put it in, and then they're typically $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 higher in price because obviously they're middlemen. They have to buy it and then resell it, right? So Acorn is the only one out there that's direct, and we've been doing that for 32 years. When I come out to your home and I do an assessment, there are questions that I'm going to ask. What I do is, obviously, I could work at a carnival. I know everybody's height and weight just by looking at it. That's from seeing 482 people a year meeting me at their door. It's like the tailor, when you walk into the tailor shop, it says 44 long, 32, 36, 40. He even knows where to go to the rack. This is right? I'm kind of saying I know everybody's height and weight just from doing so many. But what we do is we measure your back to your knee. We add 3 inches to it, and I compare it to what your stairs are. And again, I don't even think I did that for because the second I walk in, I know mathematically where something is going to work or not work. It is very rare that it's not going to work. But where it doesn't work is San Francisco. This is a San Francisco staircase. Right there. That's a Victorian. And the user is 6'6". And I know his back to knee is 27, and I got to add 3, and it's 30, which you're giving me 26 and a half to get through. So your knee is going to play the banister like a xylophone going up the stairs. So it's rare that I have to tell people it's not going to work. Don't buy it from me. You're going to be angry. It's not going to work. The math just isn't there. I've never been in a home down here where your staircase is a standard 36, 38, 42. So that's why I know immediately. They're always going to work. Down here in the peninsula. Daly City, Pacifica, for some reason, the builder, all the stairs were 13. I don't know why there's 13 risers, which is an unlucky number for a lot of people, but that's what they did. So I kind of know what I'm going to see before I even walk into the store, just by the areas that they live in. In my survey, we're going to survey the stairs. Obviously, we're going to ask questions about you. The number one question we usually ask when you're setting up an appointment, because the office does all the appointments, is they're going to ask your weight. When I do a curved chair, the maximum weight is 266 pounds. When I do a straight staircase, we can do 350 pounds. But on a curve, it's 266, and there's no one here who can't do it. Our number one service call day for the entire year is the day after Thanksgiving. Where Uncle Big Boy wants to give Grandma's chair a try. But Uncle Big Boy weighs 330. And he gets on the chair, pushes the little button to make it go, and it goes up a step, and then it dies. We have a little diagnostic code that's on our chair to troubleshoot anything over the telephone. Grandma will call Friday morning, day after Thanksgiving. It broke. I don't know what happened. We said, what's the code on the chair saying? She's going to say, well, it's saying D11. And we're going to say, is Uncle Big Boy still there? Because we know what happened when you exceed the weight. We know if you're not parking it properly. There's ways that we can tell. We can troubleshoot anything over the telephone. Because you can imagine, if you're going to have a stair lift, nobody's going to bed before 5 o'clock, right? I mean, most of my clients, we know they're eating that, but they're not going to bed. Everybody else is closed down for the day because they're dealers. So people flip up our seat, call our 800 number and say, why is my chair saying this code and why is it doing this? Over the telephone, we can tell them what to do to get you back and going. But if I have to show up the next day, because I only do 2 chairs in one color, my entire warehouse, my entire parts department is parked in their driveway. Anybody else would have to come out and figure out the problem, go back, order a part, wait for the part, come back, say, okay, Grandma, I can't use it for 5 weeks till I get what I need. When I do one color, everything is in the truck. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Now, I just have some visuals, and I know it's hard, but everybody can imagine their own staircase, and I know not everybody needs it. But if you were to park the chair, either at the top of your steps or at the bottom, this is all it takes up in terms of space when you fold the whole chair up. My mother had this, as I said, and she would have 2 tricks. My mother would come down in the morning, you open up the front door where I grew up, and she would get out of the chair, fold it, use the remote control, and she would send it upstairs and hide it. She did not want her friends to come in the front door and see that she needed a chair. Now, everybody was staring at the track, but this is the way Mom's did it, right? My mother-in-law didn't have it. My mother-in-law passed away when my little girl was 3 or 4 years old. And I remember my little girl, she was in my arms, and she said, Daddy, when I get old and I die, will I see Grandma again? I said, well, not if you're good. So, I love she just didn't need what my mother did. So I just say that the way the chair works, and again, I'm just going to show. Yeah. Remember I said one color. Now this is the curve. I attach everything to the treads of the stairs. We don't touch your wall. We don't touch your handrail. The nice thing about California is it's plug and go. You do not need a permit for this. Other states, you are required to get a permit. I think it's, I want to say Arizona and maybe New Jersey. You have to pull a permit to put something in your own home, which gets attached to the stairs. But I don't understand why. California's plug and go. All I need is one outlet within 20 feet of either the top or the bottom. I just need one. Because what we do is we plug in and we are powering the two chargers that are in the track. The chair has to sit at the bottom of your stairs and it has to sit at the top of your stairs, right? Those are the two places where it's going to park. What happens is it parks on a charger. And it's kind of like a cell phone. When you plug in your cell phone at night, at 1 a.m., it's fully charged, and it just shuts off. There's a little breaker in your phone, so it doesn't get overcharged. We do the exact same thing. It's called trickle charging. So you're just trickling to keep the battery at 100%, so that if you lose power, God forbid you have a fire, whatever it would be, you can get out because you're running on the fully charged batteries that are in the chair. So that's the beauty of it. You're never stranded. You're running on batteries. But we do have to plug in because we're powering the charger. People ask me, well, how long do I have? And there's variables. It depends on your weight, depends on the distance. But I would say you get 10 rides out of it, 10, 15 rides, before your power will come back on. Maybe 2 days, 2.5 days. If you're at a power more than 3 days, you got more worries than Sarah. I have worried about other things first. But that's how we attach it to the stairs. So this is kind of the look of what would be under stairs. How far am I out from the handrail? About 7 to 8 inches, meaning I'm 2 plus a 6-inch gap. We know other people are going to go up the stairs and not use the stair lift. So anyone's reach is 30 inches, 33 inches, so I can grab the handrail, the banister, and walk past 8 inches of track, right? So whether I do the handrail side or the non-hand, doesn't matter. Everything is tucked close to the sides. And again, it just gets attached to the stairs. I don't know how many of these splitters they use. That's the installer's expertise. I can tell you it's not on every single tread that we need this thing to support the track. But that's their game. That's their expertise. It's really all about parking. When I come in and I take a look at somebody's stairs, I know if in my world looking up is left or right. I know whether a left is better or a right is better just because the way this thing is going to park. And I always have my mother's eyes on it. She doesn't want to look at it anymore. She just wants it to come down, and she's sending it up to height. When she wants it, she pushes the remote to call the chair down. So there's 2 buttons. It's up or down. So there's a 212-page user manual we make you memorize to work. There's a quiz at the end. It's only 9 questions. It's up or down. It's that simple. The way the chair works, and I kind of speak for most of the manufacturers out there, so everything works right-handed and left-handed, because we understand some people only have use of one side. If I sit in the chair and I want to go up the stairs, all I do is I push the trigger in the direction that I want to go, but there's a 3-second delay. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and now your chair is going to go. Let's say you get halfway up and say, left my glasses downstairs. You let go, that's the brake. It's going to stop. I want to go back downstairs. I forgot my glasses. I just reverse it. 1, 2, 3, and then it goes again. So the reason for the safety delay, we don't want your grandchildren to hop in your chair and just start playing, which is what they're going to do. It's unavoidable. And the other reason is a lot of people use the arms to get out of the chair. And we don't want to hit it by mistake and have the chair jump. So we have to build in that little box. Shirley lives in Burlingame. She's 94 years old. Every other day. From her chair. Warren, why is my chair broken again? I'll say, Shirley, God bless you. You have to hold it. Oh, that's right. Here we go. Lucky Tuesday. She remembers to call me, but she forgets you have to hold it. My mother's other trick. Now, my mother had this is well before I got involved in college. This is going back. I already told you her first trick. She was always going to send it upstairs and hide it. My mother also never touched the arms. What she did with the other remote, she put a piece of Velcro on it, stuck it on the side of the chair. She just went up and down with the remote control. She says, I'm not going to use that damn. I'm just going to do this. The reason she did that, though, is our laundry was downstairs. So she had a big laundry basket on her lap. So now she really can't reach this that well. So she said, I'm just going to sit here with the remote. My mother lived alone. Right? So it's the theory is you keep one remote control upstairs and one remote control downstairs. So if two people are going to use it, you'd always have a remote to call from. Right? Somebody got up, takes the stair lift down, goes out for their morning walk, the next person gets up, I need it. They'd have a remote to call for it to come up there. And then they'd yell at you for not setting up to it anyway. I hear that a lot too. The number one, there are two things that send you to the hospital at night over 72 years of age. We know this statistic. You fell in the bathroom or you fell on your stairs. After the age of 72, statistically, you're most likely to be in there because of one of those two things. I can't do anything in your bathroom. They also know it's the first two steps that get you. If it's the bottom two steps, you fall into the steps, right? We all break our arms. My teenager, she sprains her wrist. We break, she sprains. Sorry, right? She sprains, we break. If it's the top two steps, I don't care who you are. There's going to be a problem. I see a lot of people. I open up the front door and I'm meeting the family because Dad already fell. He's been in rehab for 5 months. He's coming home in 2 weeks. And the family's in a panic, right? How are we going to get Dad upstairs? That's the bathroom, the whole thing. I told you about, I see the children. I see surgeries coming up. I see it all. I saw Rose 2 weeks ago. And the way it happens is we take a deposit as tax. What happens is you pay the installer the balance the day he puts it in. And typically, I'm 3 to 4 days away when you say, okay, let's do it. We give you a year because some people say, I'm going to redo my carpet, or this is for grandma that's going to move in with us, but she's not coming till November. I don't want it now. I want it beginning of November before she comes. But we see there's all types of reasons. But I take a deposit, and it's 10%. And so let's just say on a straight, I take $300. Well, Rose, who lives in, she was in Palo Alto, she said, okay, well, I said, I take a credit card, I'll take a check, whatever you want to do. She goes up to her bedroom. She comes back down. She had a $100 bill. She also had this. That's Monopoly money. She was asking me, does my company take this? So I said, well, let me make a phone call and see. I won laugh of the day at the office because I have to photograph everything, and I said, "Do we take this currency down?" But yeah, I see it all. So people trying to pay me with monopoly money. Um, Very cute. Part of my assessment on my form is, do you think this person can safely operate this? So, it's a sale. But, she still thinks Reagan is our president. She had lunch with Doris Day, and she thinks she weighs 112 pounds, and I know she's close to 100. I gotta check the no box. It's just not gonna work. I saw a gentleman 2 weeks ago, and so I'm glad you're here. And I know I need this, and I'm spending money on myself. It's the year of me. And he said, I just bought a hearing aid. It's the greatest thing. I spent a fortune on it. Top hearing aid you can buy. That's great. What kind is it? He says, it's $230. So, anyway, when I do your survey, it typically takes an hour or so. There is no obligation. All the phone calls go through the office, and I go out and I see what you're looking to do. A lot of people are looking ahead. A lot of people say, I don't need it now, but I'm looking down the road. Surgeries, there's all types of reasons. Our chairs, like anything, they have safety sensors on. All the safeties are built in. When this is all you do for 32 years, I like to say we're pretty damn good because this is it. I don't sell waters. It's just not our game. It's 2 chairs in 1 color. And again, all in love, because that's what's coming. There's 1 out of 200 people that say, nope, not my color, I'm not doing it. I had her 3 weeks ago. And I said, I'm not your company. But I need it tomorrow. Well, then I am your company. So this is what's coming. Pick one. This is what they've done. It's a pretty foolproof, pretty foolproof system. Okay, so that is what I do. I see 400 people a year. Last year was 457. I worked Saturdays. We own 700 800 numbers. You call one of our 800 numbers, they know you were watching MASH in Dallas, Fort Worth at 7 p.m. at night. If you called another 800 number, they know you were reading Reader's Digest. If you called another 800 number, we know you were AARP magazine. We are the National Rifle Association magazine. We know you were watching a game show in whatever city you're in. So we own 700 800 numbers. Obviously, we're on the internet. This clientele getting more tech savvy, inquiring by the web. It's really their children, that are going through the web to make appointments and ask questions and so forth. I'm still walking into homes where I see a dial phone. It's pretty slick. I got to take a picture of this and show my son. I still see cassette decks. I still see 8-track tape players. I saw a pager last week. So some of these homes are pretty interesting. It's walking into some museums. And I find it fascinating. People have great stories. What I also do find, like you're saying, get out and exercise. Because the people that I'm seeing a lot of the times, the days are over. And I say to my wife, we got to travel now. We got to do it now. We got to hit the golf course because I just met somebody that's only 11 years older than I am, and it's over for him. So if you can do it, do it. I hope none of you need what I really do. I'm there for those that do. But I wish you the best. I hope you don't have to do my stuff. I hope you can run up and down the stairs like you did when you bought the house. Because my wife and I did that. Chased our children, run up and down with one. It wasn't even a part of the equation. Now, you're thinking, okay, do I really need that thing upstairs? So that's kind of where a lot of people are. So anyway, thank you for your time. I will answer any questions you have. Yes.
All right, questions?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Loud and clear.
Oh, okay. You do a lift, it goes up and down. How about back and forth?
Depends who you're facing.
Say again.
Depends who you're facing.
I live in a one-story house,
Okay.
and I want to go from the bedroom to the kitchen,
Okay.
and I want to ride
Level.
level.
No, it has to be stairs.
It has to be stairs.
Yes.
It doesn't run
Right, you-
horizontal.
No. It has to be stairs.
That's a good question.
It is a good question. No, we can't do anything horizontal. Well, here's where I can do a horizontal. I've gone up your steps, and I make a turn to go to your hallway, and I can stop it here. Your bedroom's over there, I can stop it there. I can go all the way to your bedroom, but I have to come upstairs to do that. We don't just start
Flat.
flat because you can't get any gears going. But by the way, our track, it's all rack and pinion drive, so there's no cables or pulleys or chains back here. It's just a little gear that rolls within the seat. Same way your steering wheel works. Whenever you turn your steering wheel, go all the way to the end, you think, oh, I'm going to snap something. No, you've just reached the end of the block. You can't do anything. You can't break it.
You say top buck on this thing is around 11,000.
Plus tax. Everything's plus tax. Remember where we live. Everything's plus tax.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's 11 to 12. A lot of it has to do with parking. Am I going to do a fancy parking for you? No, it's a little more. But 11 to 12 is where I am. 3,500 to 4 for a straight. Again, you're getting the 3 series BMW. It's just not as complicated as a curve.
Okay, what about if you want to sell your home? How easy is it
Great question.
to either take it to your new home or to remove it so that you maintain the value of your house?
Yeah, great question. So we only map to the stairs, right? So all we're leaving are little screw holes, whether I go through carpet or hardwood. We're only leaving screw holes, right? So there's nothing structural. I always say, if I'm going to sell my home, I would ask my real estate agent, who's looking at this house? I've seen people take these out of the house to get the house ready to sell, and a buyer comes in and says, "Oh, I wish you left it. Love your house, but I hate your stairs. Now I have to buy this thing." Now somebody else might come in and say, "You know what? I have 3 little ones. I don't want this thing on my stairs." Because open houses don't really happen anymore. It's all by appointment. There's been way too much theft. When you open up your house on Sunday and have the world parade in to take a look, they kind of back that up. It's really by appointment. I would always call the VA. The VA would take this, their payment, they'll take it out and use it for parts to help a veteran. The only people that have your stairs are maybe your neighbor, the same architect. I can tell you right now, I can't take Alan's stairs, take it to Burlingame, and drop it. Different stairs, different everything. It's really one colored Lego train track that I'm building for your stairs. But I can't pick it up and even take it to your new house. By the time you would pay to dismantle it, move it, reinstall, you would just buy it. Because it's going to go up in price to the point where, okay, I spent $2,800 more and I got a brand new one. I'm just going to go new.
But I thought you said the cost was mainly in the chair.
It is, but when you have to dismantle, then I have labor. On the back end, if they're going to charge you labor to move it, they're going to. Man, I don't get involved in any of that. I don't get involved, but usually people I hear say, it's just not for it. But the VA is a way to get it out. Now, anybody can take it out. It's just wood screws. You can get a handyman to take it out. There's expertise, obviously, to put it in, but wood screws, anybody can get it out. I've seen these things on Craigslist, and it's hilarious because in my world, there's lefts, there's rights, there's indoors, there's outdoors, and people buy it, and it doesn't work. Well, no kidding. That was cut for their stairs. We know you don't have their stairs. You can cut down metal, can't make it grow. You just can't make metal grow. I've seen people put an indoor unit outside. They bought it on Craigslist. Spent a fortune. And they call us and they're angry. Oh, where'd you get it? Oh, Craigslist. Okay. But I only spent, $900. You spent $890 too much. That's an indoor unit. First rain, it dies. Because they're trying to save a block, and they did it right first. And it's so you want to do it right. But to answer your question, ask a real estate agent who's looking at the place. The VA can take them out. The VA gives you a donation receipt. Their payment, they'll take it. Your payment, I got a receipt that I can use on my taxes as a donation to the VA. And they're going to ask you, what's it worth? And I'd say, $11,000. Well, here's your receipt. Not all VAs take it. Sometimes you have to shop a little. Some VAs say, we have so many VAs, we don't want to. Some VAs say, we don't do this service for, So you kind of have to shop around.
You do outdoor units?
We do. Outdoor curves and straights because we're California. Other states don't do curves outdoors, but California curves outdoors. Now you're jumping. Every time you go outdoors, you're jumping on a straight. Now I'm $3,900. Before $200. On a curve, I'm down at 12.5, 13, 13.5, depending on what you're going to do. They do 140 additional things to an outdoor unit that they do for an indoor. They have to weather seal it, titanium screws. It takes a beating to outdoor. But yes,
yes, on the issue of whether the operator is not able to navigate a stair lift. Supposing a person needs a stair lift but can't navigate it, can't use the remote, would it be okay if somebody assisted him
absolutely,
going up the stair by a
absolutely.
Okay.
When I walk in some doors, I'm meeting the caregiver.
Yeah.
And the user has such bad dementia. I didn't even talk about this thing. I say, this is your tool. You're going to get them in, buckle them up, and help them out. And I write on there, this is 24-hour care. I'm circling dementia. They have 24-hour care. So they're the ones helping use it. So yes, I see that a lot. I mean, Shirley in Burlingame is getting to that point where she's still telling me every day, she forgets. I'm trying to get her to do this. she's just gonna do this. That's gonna be the same phone call. You have to hold the button the whole time because of safety. People have dogs and cats that want to jump on the chair while it's in motion. You have to be able to let go, chair stops. If I let go, the chair stops. When my mother's, pardon?
That's a dead man.
It's a dead man switch, right. When my mother is sending it up to hide it, she has to hold the button the whole time. We want you watching where this chair is going. Here comes the toddler down the stairs. Here comes the dog. You have to be able to let go, it stops. It's not just push and go.
But it stops automatically.
It stops automatically once you let go. But it's like the bumper cars. You know,
When it reaches the end of the track,
yeah, right. Yeah, it takes 4.5 hours to get up there. But, you know, there's enough battery. There are 2 speeds on the chair. One of them is not sure. We set it to the fastest.
Ejection speed.
Can you make it go faster? Answer is no. I always say, if I'm going to race you, you're going to walk and I'm going to take my chair and I'm going to touch you. And that's good enough. You're not going to use it to dry your hair. This is where you do your to-do list, say your prayers. You're not going to race up. It's just going to slowly get you on the steps. Yes.
Art, when you first mentioned 4.5 hours, I thought you were joking. But how do you explain that? How do you? Is that for real? And why is that so slow?
Well, no, it's not real. 4.5 hours to get up. It travels 5.96 inches a second. That's a boring statistic. I think it's funnier to say something. 4.5 hours to get upstairs. Typically, it's about a minute and a half to get upstairs. Obviously, it depends on the length that we're doing, but 6 inches a second. So a foot every 2 seconds. Most people have a 20-foot staircase in that, 2 minutes. Again, I always say, let's race. I'm going to beat you. That's why you call it.
Any other questions?
are you putting these on trucks?
On trucks?
Yeah, I can hang out there and they just bring me up 2 steps.
No, we don't do that. It has to be a household.
He's looking at the off-roaders.
He wants it for his motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. They gotta be inside.
All right.
Now I will have. I got plenty of brochures. You're welcome to take anything you want. I did want to hand them out prior, so you're what it's all about. But we have nice brochures. You're free to take them. I'll put them on the table back there. It tells our whole story. Kind of recaps everything I said. So again, thank you. I hope you don't need what I do.
Thank you, Warren. I appreciate that. And if you have any other individual questions, we'll be available with his brochures at the table.